So we have printed something in Python. Let's also try to take some input from here, right? So let me say input. Okay. So again, input is a keyword to actually take an input from the console. But whatever input I am getting, what to do with it, right? I need to probably store it somewhere, or probably I can directly print it. So let me try to directly print whatever input I'm getting. So let me just run this. Let's give some input. Hello. And you see, I get hello back. Are you all able to understand this? Yes or no? How it worked? So input is again, you can say a keyword or a command that tells you to take an input from the console. So you are saying whatever this gives out, whatever you get from the input, print it. So you passed it to the print. So print would have printed it out later. Does this make sense? How this is working? Print of input. Yes or no? Everyone? I'll run it once more just to show it. So if I run it, anything you can put it up here. And you'll get exactly that, right? So this would have gotten to because of input. And then we have printed that same thing out. Okay. You can try this out as well in your own compiler. Can I get a yes if everyone is able to understand this code? Yes, no, repeat. No? Okay, Naman. Did you understand print? This one? Right? So what it was doing, whatever was inside print, it was taking it and printing it out, right? Yes or no? So what I'm printing? Now I'm saying I'll print whatever I get from input. So input bracket is used to take the input, right? So whatever you get as input, pass it to print so that it prints it out. So if you run this, whatever you provide here. So as soon as you click enter, that means this goes as input. Then print will print that out. Okay. Does that make sense now? Okay. Cool. But this all seems very superficial. We are taking some input, that only we are giving output, right? But generally we would want to probably take this user input, do some processing, a lot of stuff, then print something out, right? So we introduce something known as variables. So if we want to store whatever input we have taken somewhere to be used it later, we can store it in something known as variables. So we can say x equal to input. So what does this means? Whatever you are getting from input, put it inside a variable x. Exactly like your maths variables, right? You used to write x equal to 3. So this is nothing but x equal to whatever you're getting from input. Does this make sense? Variables. So you can declare some variables equal to whatever you want to write them as. Okay. Cool. So let me also try to print this x and we'll see how it works. So if I again say hello, so what would have happened? This hello would go from input to x. And then I'll print out this x. So it becomes hello. Does this make sense? So we have learned 3 things so far. First, how to print something to the console. We say print bracket, whatever you want to print. How to take input? Just write input bracket. It will give back whatever input we got. Now we need to store it somewhere so that we can use it. So for that, we have introduced variables. So this is your x is another variable. You can name it anything. Let's say name. What happened? Oh, sorry, x is not defined. So let me say I want to print hello. The user of this code is That's your name. So by the way, if you want to print multiple things, you can give out comma and it will separate it automatically with space. So it will print this, then it will give a space, then it will print the name. So let's say I run this and I give my name as Bharat. So you can see that it first printed this, then printed my name. If you give it some other name, so let's say Ayush is here. So it will give out Ayush. Does this make sense? Yes or no? So variable name could be anything under the roof. I think it cannot be just a number. It has to be some string, right? So there are some rules as to how you can name a variable, but basically any variable name you can equal to input, whatever input you get, you store it in that variable, and then you can print out, do whatever you want to do with this variable. Does this make sense? So far, the codes that we have discussed.